In the headlines, government issues protocols for returning and resident Dominicans as the country's borders reopen. 60 Dominicans to pioneer as trainees of Dominica's Work Online program, the first in the region. And visitors warned to stay away as the country's leading tourist attractions close down for maintenance. I'm Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News, back with the details after this.
Are you still washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? 0 cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. First up, government has outlined a number of protocols which must be followed by returning nationals and residents to Dominica. The announcement of these protocols coincided with the start of Phase 1 of the reopening of the country's borders on Wednesday.
All travelers must submit a health questionnaire online at least 24 hours prior to arrival in Dominica. Visit dominicacovid19.dominica.gov for further information and to access the health questionnaire. Show the notification of clearance to travel on arrival. Submit a negative PCR test result recorded within 24 to 72 hours prior to arrival. Present both your PCR test results and notification clearance to travel upon arrival at Douglas Charles or Canfield Airport. Other protocols. Travelers are required to wear face masks at all times during the arrival process up to and including departure from the airport. Travelers must observe physical distancing guidelines. Travelers must practice good respiratory and personal sanitization. Travelers must follow all instructions of healthcare staff, officials, and security personnel. Departure from Dominica. For persons departing, the following must be observed. Vehicles will only be permitted to enter the air and seaport with the driver and person due to travel. Travelers must wear face masks at all times during the departure process until departure from airport. Travelers must observe physical distancing. Travelers should practice good respiratory and personal sanitization. Follow instructions of healthcare staff, officials, and security personnel.
Specific protocols have also been outlined for implementation at the ports of entry.
Protective measures being implemented to combat the spread of COVID-19 at the ports of entry will be simple and practical to avoid undue passenger delays. They include the following, considering that locals must access the ports to pick up visitors as well as to drop off travelers. All personnel entering the ports will be temperature screened upon arrival and departure. Temperature screening will be implemented at entry points at the Douglas Charles Airport, Canfield Airport, and Longhouse Port during the first phase of reopening. Passengers in the vehicle will be limited to the driver only to pick up as well as drop off. Mask wearing will be strictly enforced. On the departures, facilities at the ports of entry for passengers will be restricted to workers, authorized personnel, travelers, and accompanying persons in situations such as persons with disabilities, reduced mobility, or unaccompanied minors. Airlines will be encouraged to introduce electronic boarding passes in advance from home or hotel to reduce the number of person-to-person interaction where possible. DASPA will be undertaking more frequent cleaning of touch areas of the terminal after each flight. Hand washing and other sanitization stations have been installed at all ports of entry. Deep cleaning of the passenger terminal will be undertaken on a regular basis. Strict hygiene guidelines will be enforced for all in keeping with the Ministry of Health protocols.
The arrival of 2 charter flights were anticipated on Wednesday. The borders will open to non-nationals on the 7th of August. In more top stories, Dominica is leading the way in the region by becoming the first country to create a national work online program. Julian Morris has that story.
Work Online Dominica is an initiative of the Government of Dominica spearheaded through the Ministry of Digital Economy with support from IsraAid and UNDP. Coordinator of the digital economy, Robert Tong, says this pilot project is government's way of ensuring Dominicans are prepared to benefit from the world of online work.
It's a pilot project that our youth, persons from the ages of 18 to 40, are prepared for not what is coming, but what is already here, the change in terms of the digital economy, in terms of persons doing jobs online, in terms of persons doing e-commerce online, business online. So the government of Dominica, with the support partners, want to ensure that our people are ready for this change that has already started. And as we can see with COVID-19, with the issues of Hurricane Maria, you saw how businesses were impacted. But now with the digital economy, persons can actually work online and still earn an income. Companies can still continue to operate despite their doors being closed.
The Work Online Dominica will be used as a tool to empower citizens to develop a number of skill sets and enhance their ability to work online.
The digital economy means that you're not confined to Roseau. You're not confined to Portsmouth. You're not confined to Dominica. You're not confined to the Caribbean. You are exposed to the entire world. So if you're trained, if you teach yourself, if you receive training and you sharpen your skills, it means you can offer these services to anyone throughout the world. And those who do a great job can charge the amount that they want to charge. So that's what it's really about, empowering our people to be self-sufficient and to allow them to go out there and offer their services and feel confident to offer them for the entire world.
Under this pilot project, 60 individuals who range from the ages of 18 to 40 will be selected to participate in a 3-month training course in the first instance.
I want all people to understand that this is an amazing opportunity. An opportunity always favors those who are prepared. So we are trying to prepare you. You have to take the next step and ensure that you register. As we said, this is a program, a pilot program, to ensure that what we're putting in place is going to work. So many people may feel left out based on the number, but you must start somewhere and then gradually improve on it. Through the World Bank project, there's going to be significant funds allocated towards additional training for the persons in the public sector, private sector, individuals, to ensure that our people are truly ready for this opportunity.
Registration is currently open and individuals can register online at www.workonlinedominica.org.
In other developments, China's ambassador to Dominica, His Excellency Lu Kun, has reassured commuters and the wider Dominican public that the rehabilitation work on the Libre Highway is of a very high standard. The $50 million project includes 3 bridges and accompanying road rehabilitation. The bridges are located at Makushri, Batali, and Point Round.
This road, I should say, is the best quality. And after the scrutinization and the examination by the Chinese experts, they gave the evaluation of this bridge and the road is good quality, right, Mr. Wang? Good quality. So it's the very, very high quality. I think the Qingjian group is a large group in China. They also have many projects in all over the world, not only in China. They have many projects in Singapore and other African countries, also other Asian countries. They also doing large projects. They have good and abundant experiences in doing this project. I can guarantee to all of you, all the VIPs here, the 3 bridges on this road will experience all kinds of the hurricane, even more than 5 category hurricanes. I can show. All the pillars of these bridges deep into about 20 meters underground. So the quality is not a problem, I think. I also told them before, even the road was washed away, the bridge will still stand there, no problem.
The ambassador says projects built by the Chinese, including the Newtown Primary School, have proven that they can withstand the impact of natural disasters.
These projects, I should say, will experience, can unwind all kind of the floods and hurricanes. So like the Newtown Primary Schools, this primary school experienced the Hurricane Maria 2 years ago. It's no problem. This is the foreign aid projects. This is foreign aid projects. And also York Valley Bridge, I should say it's also no problem. So all the government officials and the local residents, so you can take the ease that the quality of this road and this bridge is no problem.
In other news, the Roosevelt Skerritt-led administration has been commended for its handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. His Excellency Ambassador Lu Kun says 2020 will be remembered for the impact of COVID-19 and the flooding in China, but also for the way in which the government of Dominica handled the health crisis.
Everybody will remember this year, 2020, because in China and also in Dominica and all over the world experienced COVID-19 this year. The economy of the world, economy of China and Dominica also suffered a lot during this COVID-19. And also at this moment, China also experienced the massive floods in China, because this year is very, very abnormal in China. In the Yangtze River areas, a lot of rains and floods. So many people in China these days fighting against the floods, because these floods also cause a lot of and massive damages and casualties, loss of lives in China also. I should say that the COVID-19 in Dominica, under the leadership of the Prime Minister Dr. Skerritt and his Labour government, take very, very strong and tough measures to control the spread of COVID-19.
Ambassador Kun says Dominica's handling of COVID-19 was exemplary and the country's leadership made all the difference.
Everybody can see that the situation in Dominica is much better than all over the world, especially than other Latin American countries. So the leadership, the Prime Minister, is very, very sensitive and also very, very quickly to take the measures to prevent the pandemic of this disease spreading in Dominica.
The ambassador says China remains committed to the construction of 6 schools destroyed by Hurricane Maria, an agriculture complex in Portsmouth, and an international airport.
After the COVID-19, the pandemic goes over, I think the Chinese government will send the technical experts came to Dominica very, very soon, because this project is also Prime Minister Dr. Skerritt very most concerned about it. So anyway, the Chinese government always will stand together with the government of Dominica. Regard Dominica as a very, very important country in this region. And also the Chinese government expressed thanks to the government of Dominica for your support to the Chinese government.
You are watching the Channel 5 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
Are you still washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? 0 cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Welcome back. Dominicans being discouraged from visiting some of the country's main tourist attractions as they have closed for maintenance work. Project officer in the Ministry of Environment, Liam Sebastian, says the sites closed for maintenance and safety measures at the Emerald Pool, Trafalgar Falls, Middleham Falls, and the sections 8, 11, and 13 of the Waitakubuli National Trail.
In terms of rehabilitation and maintenance work, we have a lot of work that was planned, and we were using the lockdown period to commence that work, and it is ongoing. In terms of the safety component, especially at the sites in question, we have overgrown vegetation, we have areas that are blocked that needs to be cleared, as well as some infrastructural improvements that we have to make to improve the safety and just the experience of these sites. Last week in Trafalgar, we had some fallen rocks that we had to clear. Now, with these things happening, we are not too sure when a rock is going to fall. And if persons are on site and anything happens, the first persons they are going to look at is the government. So we're just asking people to stay away. Even Emerald Pool, the entrance bridge to Emerald Pool, it was completely damaged a few weeks back, but it was reconstructed within a 8 to 10 day period.
No definitive reopening date has been given, but Sebastian assures the public it will be within a reasonably short space of time.
What we can say though is that the contractors are usually working very fast. So if the person is going to adhere to the measures and stay away, it will speed up the process of the completion of the construction, because the sites in question, because the transfer of the material from the suppliers to the sites has to be done manually. That is a process that will take longer than usual if we had a vehicle that could access it. So what we can say is that the less that we utilize the sites, the quicker that we complete.
Farmers being warned not to sell the items given to them to restore their livelihoods. Julian Morris explains.
The warning from warehouse supervisor under the World Bank funded Emergency Agricultural Livelihoods and Climate Resilience Project, Nisa Francis. Late last year, farmers began applying for assistance under this project in the form of tools, equipment and other inputs. Distribution of such materials began earlier this year. However, Francis says reports have reached officials that farmers who benefit under this project are selling their materials to other people.
Well, the software that we have in place now, it allows us to track all the equipments and tools that we're giving out to farmers. Because, you know, sometimes we hear about rumors farmers selling their equipments and so on. So this system allows us to track these tools and equipments. So what we do, we rivet them, and then we barcode them and we scan them. So once that's in our system, I can now tell you that John Brown is the owner of that particular equipment and so on, and it should be in the northeast and not in the southeast and so on. So it allows us to have a little bit more control as to where these equipments and so on.
Currently, the distribution of tools and motorized equipment is taking place only at the DAPEX building in Foncolé. This building houses a specific software used to keep better track of the items distributed to farmers under the World Bank project. Francis says the plan is to install the software at the other warehouses around the country.
We also have a new software system in place that's only functioning right now here at the DAPEX warehouse. So all our farmers from all the regions will have to come here to pick that up until we move to Portsmouth and the other distribution sites where we can also implement that software there. This is basically our main warehouse, and it requires constant internet connectivity. and we're having issues so far in certain areas of the country in terms of connectivity, in terms of internet and so on. So that has been a challenge for us in implementing that software in these areas, and we also have to go in to train our staff there to use that software.
While not revealing what penalties are in place for such behavior, farmers are being cautioned to desist from selling the equipment obtained under the World Bank funded project.
There are a number of things in place. We don't want to sound like, we're going to come back and take our stuff, but we're just cautioning farmers. We're here to help you, so we're urging you in turn to play your part, because pay attention to your contract and what you signed up for and so on, and just help us to help you.
And the Prime Minister Skerrit says despite the COVID-19 pandemic, government has been able to realize significant progress. The Prime Minister told a commissioning ceremony on Monday various sectors of the country have benefited from government policies implemented during the COVID-19 pandemic. Some of these accomplishments, which include the rehabilitation of the West Coast Highway, have been made possible through support from China. Mr. Skerrit made the point that while China was facing its own socio-economic challenges, it was still able to support Dominica's development thrust.
While China might be the second largest economy in the world, it has poverty itself. Poverty which you will see nowhere in Dominica. But because of its extraordinary commitment to small island developing states and its international responsibility, it is sharing with us the resources that it has. China doesn't owe us anything, my dear friends. We have friendship, but they don't owe us anything. We have friendship with many other countries who give us nothing at all, even our most difficult period. But that's not the case with the People's Republic of China. They stand with us, and they continue to stand with us even today. And this is a very important day for us. At a time when the entire world, Dominica included, continues to grapple with the impact of COVID-19, the severe economic dislocation which COVID-19 has caused. And so the commitments which China have made to us, they could have said to us, as could have happened in the past, and which never happened, that look, things are difficult for us in China. We have to call back all of our Chinese compatriots to come back home and to end these projects or cut shut where they are because they need the resources to be spent in other parts of China. No, they didn't do that. What did they do? They redoubled the efforts.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Are you still washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? 0 cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
To end the news, the headlines again. Government issues protocols for residents and returning Dominicans as the country's borders reopen. 60 Dominicans to pioneer as trainees of Dominica's Work Online program, the first in the region. And visitors warned to stay away as the country's leading tourist attractions close down for maintenance. Feel free to access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Andrea Louis. And to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us tomorrow.